Hey, it's John Hope Bryant, and I'm working 24/7, 365, voluntarily, intentionally, because I love what I do, not because anybody's demanding me to. Because I'm passionate about entrepreneurship and passionate about growth and passionate about getting things done. Now, why does that matter? I figured out what my dharma is. I figured out what my gift was. I figured out how I can contribute. And when did that happen? What was the exact moment? This is the moment. I was 9 years old. Mother told me she loved me every day of my life up until then. So nothing more powerful than a child being told that they are loved by their mom. My dad owned his own business for 54 years. I had a sense of yes, I can, and yes, I am, or yes, I am, and yes, I can, but I didn't know what I could do. This also had a race relation class by accident. I go to Compton, California to my elementary school. White banker, I say this intentionally to make a point. White banker comes to my classroom from Bank of America. White shirt, red tie, blue suit. Forced to be there by the government through the Community Reinvestment Act. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been there. This is a positive role for how government intervenes in communities to provide lessons on fishing and then give me the fishing pole so I can do for myself. He comes in, he didn't want to be there, forced to be there by his employer, who's forced to be there by the government, Community Reinvestment Act. He finds we're not bad kids. We find that he's not such a bad guy. We remind him of his children. He reminds us of our father, our uncle. All good. So the second section of this financial literacy course, which was done in home economics class, by the way, financial literacy courses don't exist in our neighborhoods for the most part, and home economics class is gone away. We need to fix that. So I'm in this home economics class, financial literacy course, second session. I raise my hand. Excuse me, sir. What do you do for a living? And how'd you get rich legally? And I was dead serious. Nobody in my neighborhood wore suits. Nobody in my neighborhood had a business card. Nobody in my neighborhood had a fancy car like this guy's. Nobody in my neighborhood was on a salary. Nobody in my neighborhood was a professional. Nobody in my neighborhood worked in an office tower like this guy did. The only office tower in Compton when I grew up was the courthouse. This is a big deal. He said, young man, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. Boom. The endorphins kicked in the right side of my brain where creativity and aspiration and love and charity and passion and trust and joy and fulfillment, dream making exists on the right side of your brain. When the right side of your brain is traumatized, listen to me now, you'll never get to the left side of your brain where the logic is. So that's why you have a check casher, across you from a bank branch, because it's not logical. It's not, the dreaming has died and the logic doesn't kick in, so you don't realize you shouldn't be going to the check casher and paying somebody to cash your own check to give you your own money. You should be going to the bank. So folks are preying on our low financial literacy, low levels of hope, low levels of self-esteem, low levels of self-love, low levels of optionality. That's a whole other story for another time. This moment is about this aha. This guy told me, I'm a banker and I finance entrepreneurs. I said, sir, I don't know what an entrepreneur is, but if you're financing them, I'm going to be one. I went home, opened the dictionary to the word entrepreneur, said I was going to do that. Within 3 or 4 months, I'm walking through my neighborhood looking at opportunities. I see the liquor store, Max Liquor Store, owned by a black man, who liquor store sold candy, nice guy. I walked in, said he's selling the wrong kind of candy. He said, go away, little boy, I've got a college degree. I said, that's nice, I've got cavities. You're selling the wrong kind of candy. So he said, well, look, you're a good young man who has got a good gift for gab. Come be a salesman at the candy counter. I don't want to do that. What do you want? I want to be the box boy. He said, that's the worst job I've got. That's fine. That's the worst job I want. I worked there as a box boy, boxing, open up the boxes of inventory, putting it on the shelves behind the cold box where you go in, to open it up to get your liquor or you get your water or whatever. Pushing inventory in. All I wanted to know was to look at those boxes on my brakes. What was the wholesale rate on that box? What was the retail rate on that box? What was his profit margin? Where did he buy his candy from? Where did he buy his inventory from? What was moving? What wasn't? I wanted to get the memo on how he ran a business. As soon as I got that memo, I quit. Convinced my mother to loan me $40 because she said life ain't free. You got to pay your money, pay your loans back, your obligations. I borrowed $40 from my mother. We went to Ira's food store in Smart and Final and got the inventory, came back, set up the candy house in the in the den of my mother's home. On the way to school, location, 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 I made $300 a week at then 10 years old, and put the liquor store out of the candy business. That's the power of entrepreneurship. That's the power of a moment. That's the power of financial literacy. That's the power of believing in yourself. That's the power of love. A sense of, yes, I am, yes, I can, and now what I can do. What can you do? What light can you turn on in the eyes of your children or your cousins or your friends or yourself? What can you do to change your own world? How can you be the change you want to see in the world? I'm an entrepreneur today because of that experience when I was 9 and 10 years old. Financial literacy should not be optional. It should be a civil rights issue for the 21st century, the first civil rights issue in the civil rights era. Civil rights is in the suites and civil rights is in the streets. We need to move from an agenda of just fighting in the streets to winning in the suites. And we have got to give financial literacy to everybody because it's a hand up, not a handout. We're passing out fishing poles to a generation. Let me know what you think. Share this video. Follow this movement. Follow me on all the channels. Go see my people at Operation Hope. Once you watch this video and decide you want to take your life back, go to my people at Operation Hope, to a Hope Financial Coach at a Hope Inside location near you, and start the process of taking your life back.